Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at Ufthak Blackhawk. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. So we got a whole article to go along with this, but I figured we'd jump right in with the new datasheet. Ufthak Blackhawk is coming out on Saturday, and Games Workshop has already disclosed he is going to be a limited model. He's coming in plastic, and we've got the datasheet already. So right off the bat, the first thing I noticed is this thing definitely giving me some mixed feelings. Now, I'm glad that Games Workshop was fully upfront about him, so there's no feel bads afterwards. But it is kind of surprising nonetheless, because obviously the Orc Codex is on the way. We should be getting that pretty soon. We've seen one other Orc character showed off. We're presuming that that's going to be Orruks, but we've only really seen the silhouette so far. And I'm assuming with the Codex, we're going to get more than that. Now, obviously we saw for the Tau, they're getting a whole Krut range refresh, a ton of units. Probably not going to see as much for the Orcs. But I'm hoping that we're getting more than just a character and a codex and some data cards. I'm assuming maybe a new unit, possibly some kind of refresh of one or two existing units. And we were thinking potentially, probably, Ufthak Blackhawk was going to be part of that as well. But now, obviously knowing that he's a limited model, he's probably not going to show up in the codex. And then as soon as I saw the datasheet right here, I was like, uh-oh, that is bad news. Warhammer Legends. So he's coming out of the gate right off the bat with Legends, which means basically he's not usable in Warhammer 40k. Now, obviously you can use him in friendly games if you want, but the same way that the Warhammer 30k models all came out, the Horus Heresy stuff, and was initially usable in 40k, but as soon as it hit Legends, it basically just disappears and goes into the void of irrelevancy. I feel like that's exactly where Ufthak Blackhawk is going. And while this model is super cool, and we know he's going to be limited edition, so it's either grab him or don't, but he's probably going to be gone pretty quickly, and he comes out on Saturday with the pre-releases, definitely makes you think twice about whether or not he's worth picking up if you're not even to be able to use him right out of the gate. So anyway, let's take a look at his datasheet, but I figured I would share my initial impressions because the last thing I was expecting initially was that he was going to be a limited model, but now it makes a lot more sense knowing that he's coming out as Legends because he's basically useless. So Ufthak Blackhawk, movement 6, toughness 5, save 4+, invulnerable 5+, Wound 6, Leadership 6, OC 1. Range weapons, he's got a shock rifle, devastating wounds, hazardous precision, 24-inch range, attacks 1, ballistic skill 4+, strength 8, -2, d6 +1 damage. So not exactly impressive. He's hazardous, which means 1 in every 6 times he shoots it, he's going to do 3 damage to himself. It's devastating wounds, which means on a 6 to wound, it's going to do mortal wounds instead, which is pretty nice. And it's precision, which means you could potentially snipe characters with it. So it's not terrible. And with ballistic skill 4, he's hitting 50% of the time. With strength 8, he's wounding like a regular Space Marine character on 2s. -2 AP is going to put most stuff on their invulnerable save. And d6 +1 damage means you're doing 2 to 7 damage. So you're averaging 3 or 4. So you could take out a lieutenant in one shot. Not bad. Melee-wise, he's got Princess Jaws. That's his trusty squig. So those are extra attacks, which means you're always going to get those 2 attacks. Weapon skill 4, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And then the Snaz Hammer is devastating wounds, 4 attacks, weapon skill 3, strength 10, -2, 2 damage. So not exactly great. Points are 70 points for this bad boy. And then we've got core, leader, faction Wa, teleport tech. While this model is leading a unit, models in that unit have the deep strike ability. So pretty cool being able to essentially attach him to a unit and that unit gains deep strike. And then Gargant Smasher, each time this model makes an attack that targets a Titanic unit, you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll the wound roll. So that is for both melee and shooting. That's going to help out a lot with his attacks 1. Strength 8, you're still going to be wounding most big stuff on 5s, but it gives you twice as many chances to get that devastating wound off. So actually not bad and not that good that he can't just be a legitimate datasheet in 40k. So I got to say that the only reason they probably made him Legends is 1, he's probably not printed in the codex, and 2, because the model is going to be limited edition. But I mean, realistically, something like Uriel Ventress, the Ultramarine character, is around as good as he is, grants teleport to any infantry unit in your army, doesn't even have to be the one he joins. So it's not like this datasheet's so good that they just couldn't unleash it into the wild. So a little bit surprising to see him in Legends, because he is cool, he is fun, the model's awesome. I would have liked to just see him as part of the range, or at least part of the game. And then if you can't get a hold of the model, you got to at least convert your own. But definitely disappointing to see him come out of the gate in Legends. But I do appreciate Games Workshop being upfront about it right off the bat. So there's no like feel bad moment when after you buy the model, you realize you're not even going to be able to use him. So just scrolling down here and taking a look at who he can join. So he is an epic hero, so 1 per army, shock rifle, snaz hammer, and princess jaws. And then he can be attached to either boys or knobs. So again, I mean, boys or knobs, that's cool. Giving them the ability to deep strike, not bad, but not exactly going to be breaking the game. So let me know what you think. A little bit surprising there to see him come out as legends. Definitely some mixed feelings on this one. I do appreciate Games Workshop being upfront about it. I'm not sure if this is going to change the sales one way or the other. I think most people were probably picking him up for the model a lot more than they were for the actual rules, especially because we didn't know the rules yet. But an interesting decision on their part. I don't see him as being like an issue to balance. He's not that great. He's fun. I could see people using him in their army, but he's not exactly like overpowered or anything like that. But I think he would be fun to put in your army, throw with a squad of boys or knobs, and play in 40k, which is really what it's all about. And I guess realistically, the main reason Games Workshop has put stuff into Legends was because they don't want to keep up with the balance on them. So maybe they just wanted to do like a one-time thing, put a little effort into this data sheet, make the model one time, print him out, sell him, and then just not have to ever worry about him again. So I get it, sort of like a set it and forget it, but a little bit disappointing to know that you're not going to be able to really use him. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOgames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOgames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOgames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOgames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOgames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOgames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. So there is a little article to go along with him. We'll take a look at that real quick as well. The Orc Book Club is a new way to read up on your favorite green menaces. Can orcs read? This is a significant question to trouble the best minds in the galaxy, and one from which we have a definitive answer. Despite years of careful study and innumerable dead scholars, to this end the High Lords of Black Library have a new initiative, the Orc Book Club. Regardless of orc literacy, there sure are a lot of books about them. We have it on good authority they appreciate a weighty hardback. All the better for throwing at grots. For those of us who definitely can read, books like Prophet of the Wa and War Boss present plenty of opportunities to learn more about the orcs. While the 12-tome The Best Arises series casts its gaze back in time with the Imperium faced a very different kind of orc threat. So here we can see Goskol Thraka, Prophet of the Wa, War Boss, The Beast Arises Volume 1, The Beast Arises Volume 2, and The Beast Arises Volume 3. Even the lowly grots get their spotlight in a trio of novellas. Appropriate since they can't carry anything heftier. The Red Gobbo's Revenge, The Red Gobbo's Demise, and The Red Gobbo Rides Again. Gives these oft-abused underlings a precious opportunity to even the score. Mike Brooks has focused his expertise on bringing the maverick war boss Ufthak Blackhawk to life in the short story Where There's a Warp, There's a Way, breakout novel Brutal Cunning, and its upcoming sequel to Big Dakka, which is available to pre-order on Saturday. Alongside this new novel, Ufthak is coming to plastic with a superb new miniature, and you can even bring him to the tabletop with his free Legends datasheet. He's not messing about, as befits an orc who drove a shock jump dragset into a titan's head. You can pre-order Ufthak Blackhawk and Big Dakka on Saturday. And then obviously I'll put the download link in the description, but we already took a look at the datasheet. So let me know what you guys think about this one. Are you going to be picking him up? Did him being Legends make a difference as to whether or not you're going to be picking him up? And also, like, what are you expecting to come in the new Orc Codex? Speculation points straight to Archimedes. We've already seen the silhouette. It seems very, very likely that's what we saw. But are you expecting a new vehicle, just some revised data sheets in the actual book? Or are we looking for like some new models, reproduction of old kit with some improvements? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. Special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Check out the link in the description to save 15%. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man. And I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm still going to be picking them up. And I'm out of here.